Well, that was an impressive summoning session for yet another seasonal banner. I'm actively very surprised that I've had two really good summon sessions for seasonal banners in general, since they can be odd levels of difference. So I did manage to pull every single unit in the actual banner, and another thing is that I never got officially pity broken during said banner. I won't say that that's necessarily one of the worst or best things, because that means that once again I kind of prove that focus charge is not necessary for sparking. But I I did pull Nino with some of the worst IVs as a plus defense minus attack, so I automatically decided to trait Fruiter to become plus attack minus res. I managed to also pull three copies of the 4-star Demote Byleth, all of them with relatively okay, not okay IVs. Number 17 was plus res minus speed. Number 27 was plus defense minus speed. And the last one at number 35 was plus HP minus res. So I believe I'm going to go plus res for this one just because I feel like it's more worth it. But I did also manage to pull the harmonic with a plus attack minus res set. So that's very good for me. Now, I would have been more than happy to get rid of the reds, but I also wanted Ursula, so I sparked Ursula. I also did some spare other summons, so from the tickets, I did manage to pull a plus HP minus defense Rajat, so that's a merge for the one that I already have, which I'm pretty sure is plus HP minus res. I finally pulled Arthur with plus defense minus res as well, so that's either a merge or a just fodder for something else. From two tickets for the 4-star special, I managed to pull a plus attack minus speed Celica and an Ike, which honestly I don't really remember the IV since I probably wasn't paying much attention to the actual recording. But I also did manage to pull a plus attack minus HP duo dagger. So all in all, very impressive pulls. Now, as I am trying to get this out today, which is for April 1st, so April Fool's Day, I'm not trying to fool anyone. I have a special wish list for Faye. Four things that I want to see Faye do, or at least attempt to do it within the next year. So the first one is going to be regarding special heroes and 4-star specials. Number two is going to be use of crystals. Number three is going to be trading, and then number four is going to be regarding skills, in particular, the lack of certain skills. So, first and foremost is special heroes as well as 4-star special heroes, or 4-star special heroes, and especially the ones that are older. So, older ones in a lot of cases are not necessarily as useful anymore. I put originally near 1 to 2, but I just decided that every single unit here from the 4-star special seasonal pool is ones that I'm currently missing. So while there are some good ones, like both New Year and Valentine's Ike come with distant counter, the Summer Lilina comes with a rally up skill. You have the Winter Erica as well as Picnic Jenny, both coming with the Razzle Dazzle staff sets. You have Close Counter from Xander. Let's see. Reinhardt, I believe he comes with a joint hone skill. You have mirror impact from Summer Lejarn. You have distant counter once again from Hector. Close counter from Tharja. But basically, a lot of the units are not good enough to keep up with the current meta. I mean, you can probably make them plus 10 max investment, but a lot of times those max investments are probably better suited for a different unit. So what I kind of originally would have suggested when they created this idea is they're not putting these into the regular like 4-star special pool. So I would suggest moving them to there instead because I don't want to try pulling on seasonal banners, especially older ones that do not have any value outside of just like trying to pull these. That is all well and good, but 4-star special pool is consistently getting bloated. So every time they demote units from the 5-star pool to the 4-star special pool, the, there should have been moves, units that move out of that pool into the 3 and 4-star pool. But unfortunately, IS has decided that no, that pool is going to consistently get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that means that it's harder to pull the merges that you want, or if you're missing specific units. I, for one, am missing all the bottom ones here. And then these are the top ones that aren't. I've pulled, but I personally think that every one of these units specifically deserves to be demoted to make room for more units. Most of these are definitely the first year units. They don't have they are very hard to uh, efficiently use. They're not super hard, but they require a massive amount of investment in order to even come close to the current meta, even with resplendence that they might have. So possibly moving some of the very weak 1-stars, so like anything from the beginning of the game to the, I believe, what was it, 2018, right before like Valentine's Day, moving all of those units from the 4-star special pool to the 3 to 4-star pool would definitely help. Now that also brings up another issue. Yet again, another pool that is actually growing is the 3 to 4-star pool. Now I talk about putting uh, older 4-star special units into the 3 to 4-star pool. But the reality is that each new hero banner that offers a demote, as soon as that banner ends, that unit automatically moves to the 3 to 4-star pool, thus growing a ever expanding pool, albeit a lot slower, but it's still something else like that. Or another example is sometimes we get new banners that don't have a 4-star demote, but we do get a free hero. Female Shez, Etier, Balthus. All of those are really good examples of units that would have possibly become part of the banner if they did not decide to make it all 5-star units. So an idea, something that I've been pushing for a lot is a alternate use of crystals. I, for one, have way too many stocked, and I don't feel like it's worth using them for EXP. I feel like it's more useful to use them for other things, such as a shop purely for the existence of getting rid of excess shards and crystals would definitely be a good idea for Faye to implement. In which case, anytime you would trade in a specific color of shards or crystals, you would get the color, that specific color. So these are 4 items that I personally think would be very useful for this store. Hero feathers, arena medals, 4 to 5-star summon tickets. So these would be for units that are the year 1 4 to 5-star units that were originally like 4-star special or 5-star, and then your choice of a 3 to 4-star unit. So in the case of trading in, say, green, you would get green feathers for only usable for green heroes. Same thing with arena medals. Summon tickets would only provide you with a green unit, and then you would be able to choose whatever green hero you wanted. Now, the reason that these are good options is because this would remove excess junk from the pool. This would get a have give you an easier time to try and pull merges for older projects. This would make it easier to refine things, and then this would make it easier to promote things. Now, the shop would be a weekly reset, which with each item being purchasable only once per week. So it's not like the Celestial Stones where a lot of the items that you can get are really good, but it only resets once every I believe it was 90 days. Now, as for universal shards, in which case they would give you random. So if you traded in for hero feathers, you would get a random color set of feathers. Same thing with arena medals. The summon tickets would simply just be summon tickets, so you would be able to summon just like the arena ones. As for the 3 to 4 star unit, what they could do, like the weekly revivals, is do rotations with the choice of 2 or 3 old units that they took out. So if they take out, say, 3 or 4 from each color, they do a rotation where you can choose one color, kind of like what sparks do. Now, the only reason that I suggest this is because I have a lot of crystals. I'm most likely never going to use them, especially for universal shards. I've had the 6-digit max for way too long, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to fully use them, since shards themselves are way too easy to accumulate and way too hard to mass use because they're only for the lower levels. And speaking on the same kind of level, I played a game. My first ever gotcha game was Rage of Bahamut, and while I disliked a lot of things that the game did, one of the things that I really did love about it was the fact that they offered a marketplace for player-to-player trading. Now, what would happen is you would post, what do you want, what are you trying to trade off, and what are you looking for? And a lot of times you could easily have some people who are just looking for the purchasable stamina or energy powders. You could have someone who's looking to finish up a specific project that they've been working on. Or you could just have someone who's trying to help newer players or players who are struggling by just trading a valuable unit for a low level unit. So the reason I think this would be good for Faye is because you can easily make it so that you just trade books. So you could have a limit per how many times you could do it per day. You could limit the types of units that you would be trading. So you could limit it to only version 1.0 to 2.0. You could have a in-game free currency as kind of like a token for doing this. So I'll give a really easy example from my case. I have a Levitine who has a plus res minus attack. I would be more than happy to use trade fruits, but I have a lot of other units who have similarly worse or maybe even worse IVs. But I have way too many spare Brave Roys, and I don't care about putting him to plus 10 yet. If my friend needs a Brave Roy who, in order to make the last plus 10, that would be a fair trade for me. I get the Levitine, he gets the Brave Roy. An example number 2 is I have a friend who has a spare Sigurd book that I need for a project, but he really doesn't want anything at all. He's willing to trade it for some small 4 stars, in which case that would be I give you something to work on your project. All you give me is just some other stuff that I may not necessarily need, but I'm just doing for the trade value. And then number 4, the last thing I would suggest is more access to certain skills. And there's a very decent number of skills, I don't know if I did the right way of doing it, that fall into 3 categories. The first one is going to be very few units actually have this skill, and this could be a tier 4 or tier 3 skill. So, and then number 2 would be this skill is unattainable outside of 5 stars or seasonal demotes for the tier 3 of the skill. This usually refers to skills that a lot of people love inheriting, but because it's only available as a 5-star, it's very hard to efficiently inherit. And then number 3 is this skill is only attainable through limited heroes, legendary, mythic, seasonal, and then you could also put rearmed into legendary or mythic, and this could refer to both tier 3 or tier 4. So the first group is a good example of the 1 to 2 units. So a lot of skills are very, very available. Probably one of the worst examples is going to be attack speed push 4, which I believe has approximately 30 units that come with the tier 4 skill. And also it is one of those skills that has a decent amount of fodder. There are some really good examples of things that do not. One of the easiest and earliest examples would be the breath series. So warding, fierce, steady, and darting. All of these are only available on one unit. All of them are only available on specific units. And oddly enough, only one of them is not available on an Ike. The close foil, distant foil, and close ward, and I believe are all skills that are pseudo DC CC skills, but they're also only available on 2 units each, whereas distant ward has 3. Another really good example is the bomb pluses. So deluge, earth fire, earth water, and wind fire. All of their pluses are only available on 2 units. However, once again, I will also point out that they are only available as tier 4s. There are no units that have the tier 3 versions. In general, the dual infantry, cavalry, and flying skills have been given a lot of tier 4s as well, but they also don't have very accessible fodder. Then probably the best one of the really interesting examples is going to be Brazen Attack Speed 4, the only Brazen skill to actually have a tier 4 skill, and it's only available on one seasonal unit. I also will point out some specific rallies. You can also put in the very specific, really good, really broken specials like Holy Pressure, Light Restraint, Godlike Reflexes, Vital Astra, and Lethality. All of these only have 1 to 2 units who have these. Granted, both of these were released within the last couple months, so it's kind of hard to validate saying, oh, it's not worth looking up to that one. So adding some more units that have either tier 3s or tier 4s of certain skills, especially the bombs, would definitely be a help. The next group is 5-star or seasonal demote only tier 3 skills. So these are skills that are the tier 3, or in some cases they are tier 2 combined skills. I'll use the example of Swift Sparrow 2. It's technically a tier 3, but it has the numbering of a 2. And it's only available on two demotes that are seasonal only that have the tier 3 at 4-star. Linja and Male Korin and Soth. And I actually just realized I wrote this on a certain level. No, actually, I did not. I just realized that I confused these two numbers. So there are about 25 plus units that have Swift Sparrow 2. A lot of them have it as a 5-star. There are 23 units who have the skill as a tier 4, either through Swift Sparrow 3, Remote Sparrow, or Sparrow Surge, or Surge Sparrow, with the number of limited heroes being 14. Probably one of the weirdest and best examples would come to being Attack Speed Push 3 once again. While we do have 2 units that are seasonal demotes, they are available in the Grail Shop as Summer Leone and Valentine's Effie. There are 6 units that have this skill, including those 2, but there are about 30 units that have it as a 4-star. Once again, a lot of them are limited. But let's get on to some of the no units have this, no demotes have this. Probably one of the best examples I can think of is Sturdy Blow 2. There are no units in the current pool that have the tier 3 of this as a 4-star. There are 7 units that come with it at the base 3, and then there are another 8 units that have it as a tier 4 skill, either through Sturdy Impact or Sturdy Surge, with 5 of them being limited. Let's go to Quick Riposte. Since we just got a 4, we have no units that come with this this tier 3 as a 4-star, but we have 11 units that come with its tier 3 as a 5-star, whereas we only have 1 that comes with the tier 4 as a limited hero. So these are only personal examples. the fact that they're not willing to add in certain skills to the pool, probably one of the best examples that I can think of is the two attack ideal skills. So attack defense and attack speed. Because these are available as seasonal demotes for tier 3, but aside from that, the only way you can get them is a 5-star. And this makes, once again, I say this makes trying to do inheritance incredibly clunky for certain skills. And then we move on to the final group. This is on a somewhat of a similar level. This is the seasonal, legendary, or mythic only tier 4s. So for some reason I will never truly understand, there are skills that exist only in limited pools. So probably one of the best examples is attack defense 4. A lot of people say that attack speed push or attack defense push 4 versus attack speed push 4. Attack speed push has over 25, as I said. Attack defense push 4 has only 5 units that come with it. 3 of them are seasonals, and 2 of them are mythics. And then we can move on to a slightly more recent skill. I'm going to go ahead and skip over the Distant Storm, but we have Stillwater 4. Yet another skill that only exists as a tier 4 skill, with 2 units being seasonal and 2 units being mythic and or legendary. I do indeed wonder why exactly they decide to keep certain skills out of the hands of normal unit pools. I mean, we have way too much attack speed push. Give us more attack defense push. Give us swift impact, which only has the 1 unit, being Pledgian Dorothea. We only have the 1 unit who has brazen attack speed 4, that being Summer Walt. We only have 1 unit that has Rouse attack defense 4, that being New Year's Fafnir. And then probably as another C skill, we have only 1 unit that comes with speed defense menace, that being Summer Dimitri. So what I would suggest for these kind of skills is try and see if there's reason to keep attack defense push 4 as a skill that's exclusively in legendary, in the seasonal legendary mythic pools. Same thing with Stillwater. Same thing with Rouse attack defense 4. Same thing with speed defense menace. Same thing with swift impact. Add more skill options so we don't have to think, do I want to give up a harmonized Dorothea to get her swift impact offer? Now again, it's probably easy to do other things, but these are only some of the skills that I found. I'm pretty sure that if you dig deeper, you can probably find way more skills that are either limited to only a specific unit or limited to limited heroes only. And this, of course, brings me to the end of my rant. Thank you very much for listening, as always. As always, thoughts are always going to be welcome, albeit if they're constructive. And then if you enjoy my videos, or at this point, if you find that they make you think, please consider subscribing, as I do try and make more content like this. But for now, that's it. I will try and get the Japanese version of this one up sometime later this week. But for now, I will see you all in another video. Have a nice day.